And a special thank you once again to Ernest the Cat Miller, ladies and gentlemen. And if you ask him, there's no doubt that he is still the greatest. He is still the greatest. So that's what a fantastic and fun interview. We were talking off air. Yeah, and just wow, yeah, just a very, very fun interview. I really enjoyed having that really fun time. A lot of stuff that he shared as well, just some really fun stuff that he shared as far as his career is concerned. And just I did not know that he was supposed to he was talked about being the WCW World Heavyweight Champion at once by Hulk Hogan. That's a very, very interesting news that I never knew about. So I'm sure that will be spread across the airwaves soon. Very, very interesting that Ernest the Cat Miller was supposed to be WCW champion. Well, at least Hogan discussed it, and Hogan discussed the fact, the possibility of Ernest being champion. And I don't know how I feel about that. If Ernest the Cat Miller was champion, there was a time that he was way over, and Ernest the Cat Miller being champion during the NWO era. So the anti-NWO people were Sting, DDP. That was really it for the most part. When Sting and DDP were the most were the biggest people that were anti. I mean, there were some people too. I mean, Flair, and there were some other kind of mid-card people that were anti-NWO. So yeah, I got some questions already here on the chat. Of course, we are live in the chat, Wrestling Inc. Facebook. And we will be posting this on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube as we have been. So thank you so much for all of your support. Let's address this question here. How do you feel about Daniel Bryan returning to the ring? I think it's a good call. Of course, we'll bring in the co-host here in a bit. Right after this question here. Yeah, I think it's great. It just boosted, and I've said this before on my show, and I tweeted it as well. It boosted my interest. I was I was already very interested in the WrestleMania card, but I think it boosted my interest that much more, like a whole lot more, that Bryan's coming back, highly anticipated. And like I said before, I called this weeks ago. I saw it. I think Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think they set it up pretty good. I think it's been a very long angle. I think it's culminated very well. So yeah, it should be very, very fun to see. I'm looking forward to it. Shane McMahon, as far as WWE is concerned, he's injured. He's got the diverticulitis. It's acute. It's not severe. There's a difference. Medically, severe is usually, that's the one that's usually the lengthy one as far as surgery and a lot of time to recover. The acute is not as severe. It's not as bad. So with the acute, I believe it's just 2 to 3 days to. I mean, granted, let's make this clear. Let's make this clear. If the injury is a shoot, so WWE is making it look like it's a shoot. So if it's a shoot, it usually takes about 2 to 3 days to recover as far as going back to work. But as far as just like heavy lifting and a lot of intense activity, that usually takes 4 to 6 weeks. So they could do it this way. They could have Shane still be in the corner, so he'll be available. I mean, he'll be able to walk and be active. They announced on SmackDown tonight that he's discharged. So I mean, they were supposed to do the surgery after the infection and all that, and now he's discharged. So it's making it seem like more like a work. I mean, I'm not going to fully say that it's not a work, but it's making it seem more like a work. So yeah, that's quite interesting to see where that goes. But even if it was a shoot, even if he had diverticulitis and had to get surgery, he would still be, I mean, medically, he'd still be able to be at Mania and attend. You know, he could do, you know, he could be in the corner. He could be a tag partner and have Daniel Bryan do most or just about all the work. If it's a no DQ match, I'm sure he could do some chair shots and things like that. The only thing is, I wouldn't want Daniel Bryan to be doing most of the work coming back at this point and just, 3 years gone, and they're still there's still reports of, they're still going to check him every single time he wrestle. So I wouldn't do that. I definitely would do that. Someone's asking me what the Charlotte injury is. I have not. WWE's not said anything about it yet. I haven't checked with any of my sources to see exactly what it was. So I am not certain yet. I haven't checked with anybody to check and see. By the time this is on YouTube, and right now it's on Facebook Live. Right. By the time it's on YouTube, I'm sure that there'll be some information disclosed. Jason saying this WrestleMania card is so stacked this year. I agree. I'm excited about it. I think that this is a very, very stacked card. It's funny because I have this cup here, and this was I was in Orlando. Before I say that, I'm bringing in my boy, co-host with the most, Evan Tech Proud. How are you tonight, sir?
To be back on the airwaves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great to have you as always. Wow. Triple header. Absolutely. Triple header. All right. So as I show you this cup, here's the first question. Here's a loose end question from last week. WrestleMania 14 question. Here we go. Who did Triple H defeat to retain the European Championship at WrestleMania 14? Who did Triple H defeat to retain the European Championship at WrestleMania 14? All right, so yeah, I'll show this before. As far as this cup here, and this cup, I was in Orlando last year, and here was the cup that I purchased from WrestleMania 33. So if you can see this here for the live stream. There we go. So you got the New Day. They were the host. You got Naomi, who won the SmackDown Women's Championship in her hometown. So that was a very, very poignant moment for her. It was really good. You got the Undertaker, who we thought would be his last match, but it's not, unfortunately. We got Triple H, who went against Seth Rollins. Very good match. Brock Lesnar, who went against Goldberg. Very, very good match. Very intense. It served its purpose very well. Randy Orton, unfortunately, Orton's a legend in the business. He's a staple player, but unfortunately, he probably had the worst match of the night. With Bray Wyatt, that just was not good at all. Yeah, Cena, which him and Nikki versus Miz and Maurice. I'm sure it's a big moment for Miz and Maurice. If John and Nikki, they're engaged. If they get married, they'll have that in their record books to say, we went against we teamed together at WrestleMania. How cute. But otherwise, other than that, it was total Bellas extraordinaire. Then you got Goldberg, big Goldberg fan. Now he's going to be in the Hall of Fame this year, so definitely a huge. It's been a great couple of years for Goldberg. He won the Universal Championship, and at Fastlane, and then the 2016 Survivor Series surprise 86-second victory that he had against Lesnar. It's probably one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. Won the title of Fastlane, defended it. Brock Lesnar came full circle and lost it in a very good match. So awesome. Kudos to Goldberg. Now he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So awesome. Seth Rollins beat Triple H, for being off of 32 and coming back this year was pretty cool. He had an injury scare as well when Samoa Joe injured him. So it was thoughts of him even not coming, for a second. There was a scare of him not coming on this Mania either. And then Roman Reigns defeating the Undertaker in the main event. Awesome story. The match wasn't awesome. Roman Reigns, as many people who don't want to admit it, Roman Reigns carried the Undertaker in that match. You can't, there's no debate to that. And then the send-off was awesome, but just null and void now. And then Charlotte Flair, who was a part of the Raw women's championship match. She came in as champion, I believe, and she defended it. Was it a Fatal 4-Way match? Her, Bayley, Sasha, and Nia Jax, I believe, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Bayley won that one. I thought it was. Yeah, someone got a comment. I agree. Roman did carry the Undertaker, although it does take two people to carry a match. I would agree with you in most other cases, but and I'm a Taker fan through and through. There's no doubt about that. Taker's he's in my top 10 greatest of all time. But it was rough to watch Undertaker in that match. It was it was really tough to watch. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that was the women's match. Yeah, Bayley, Charlotte, Nia, and Sasha. Yep. Absolutely.
And I'm not the biggest Reigns fan, but he carried Taker. We were there live.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
Reigns carried Taker.
My goodness. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough to watch, especially live. It was tough to watch. We were just like, ooh, ooh-ee. And I mean, last year's card was stacked too. I mean, Jericho's not going to be on this card, but he was on last year. And Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy's not going to be on this card this year, but he was last year. The big comeback, the big return, that was huge. I mean, 33 was awesome. Yeah, no Dean Ambrose. He was on a pre-show, but he was still, in the spectacle. No, I don't. That's for sure. Neville's not going to be on there. Austin Aries not going to be on there. They were on the pre-show last year. And then Big Cass isn't going to be on there. Enzo Amore's not going to be on there. Maurice isn't going to be on there. So there was Goldberg's not going to be on there. I mean, there was some speculation that he might be in the Andre Battle Royal. He may, but I don't know. But he's not scheduled as of now to be on there. So I mean, there was a handful of people that won't be on there this year that was on there last year. So last year was quite stacked as well. It's the bottom line is this. I mean, the WWE has the talent. I mean, that's what the bottom line is. At the end of the day, WWE has an amazing list of awesome talent. It's just that the creative part is so disappointing so many times. I mean, that's what it boils down. It's not a talent deficit in the WWE. That is not the issue whatsoever. Not the issue whatsoever. The creative part, and we'll get to Raw and SmackDown, especially Raw. SmackDown wasn't too bad again this week, but especially Raw. I mean, that's your flagship show. You've got some angles being developed, and it was terrible. Got some comments here. That's why I'm not in favor of this match against John Cena. Should have happened 10 years ago. I agree. I'm still not. I'm still not. And I think here's the thing. I was very skeptical about Cena Taker, and I've been very consistent with that. And I still feel the same way. I'm still not sold on the match. I haven't changed my mind about Taker coming back. I still am very adamant about the fact that he shouldn't have returned. And this angle doesn't make me feel different. It doesn't. It doesn't make me feel any different. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's just like, yeah, you're creating a path to WrestleMania as if you're not John Cena, 16-time champion, 10-3 WrestleMania record. It just, I mean, come on now. It's just ridiculous.
We all had that friend, and sometimes it could have been us, but we all like that one girl in school in the neighborhood, and we mad because she didn't want to take off her so mad because she didn't want to go out on a date.
Yeah.
And you start doing all this dumb stuff
to
get her attention. It's like, come on, Cena. Like, you're John Cena. Like,
yeah.
You just say, even with Michaels. People forget when Michaels started holding, even though that one of my favorite matches of Michaels overselling at SummerSlam. What was Michaels' reasoning?
Yeah.
He went from being a heel for 2 weeks, and then after the match, he was a face. And what did he say to Hogan? Sometimes you just gotta know.
Yeah, that's right. You did. Yeah. That's right. Yep. That's a perfect. That was a perfect example of what it should have been. Absolutely perfect example of what it should have been. It shouldn't have been some coward. Like, why in the world are you trying to humanize the Undertaker? And it just, I don't like the. And we'll get to Raw. We'll get to Raw. Again, question on deck right now: who did Triple H defeat to retain the European Championship at WrestleMania 14? Questions here. What superstars do you think return at WrestleMania or the night after? As far as returning at WrestleMania, perhaps, I like Goldberg. If Goldberg was in the Andre Battle Royal, I'd be totally fine with that. As far as returning there at Mania, let's see. I think that's as far as the return is concerned, I think that day of, you could have Jeff Hardy come back to the Andre Battle Royal, but it wouldn't make sense if he came back to the Andre Battle Royal. I don't see a lot of returns the day of. Now the day after, I can see, I can see Big Cass coming back. I can see Big Cass. For some reason, I think they may do a Big Cass Braun Strowman feud, which I wouldn't be opposed to. But for some reason, I feel a Big Cass Braun Strowman feud, and if Cedric Alexander wins the Cruiserweight Championship, I can even see them bringing Neville back the day after, or the day after would be okay. So Neville, Big Cass, I can see Jeff Hardy coming back to Raw after Mania. So yeah, those are my three. I got Granny says Undertaker versus John Cena at Vengeance pay-per-view 2003. Why have a match now 12 years later? I think the biggest thing was them not competing at Mania. So, which could have been a good angle, but this whole dragging it, Taker's a coward crap is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. James asking, do you think that WWE ever hired David Benoit? If he has the credentials as far as a wrestler is concerned, it's just that Benoit name is just so tainted. So I don't know. it would be really tough to do that. To hire, to hire anyone with the Benoit name. So we will see. Unless there's David Benoit, the jazz artist. I'm a big David Benoit jazz artist. So yeah, it could be. Could be. I think he was at. I think last year he was at a live event, if I'm not mistaken. Someone saying his promo was bad. Yeah, John Cena's promo was bad. Got a comment saying, want to see Lashley versus Lesnar. I do as well. I believe that I stumped the very usually every week you guys are very privy in your wrestling skills, your wrestling challenge, your wrestling knowledge. But looks like I stumped you all. Owen Hart is who he defeated. Looks like I got you all on this one. He defeated Owen Hart. I usually don't get you all with well, if you're looking at this on YouTube, you might have got it. But as far as the Facebook crowd, looks like I got you all for this one for Owen Hart. Here's the next one. Who won the gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania 17? Who won the gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania 17? All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. So let's dive right into it. It is time for the headline. So here we go. Paul Heyman inducting Bill Goldberg into the Hall of Fame. I'm not a fan of this. It doesn't really make any sense to me. So basically, no, Sergeant Slaughter did not win the gimmick battle royal. It doesn't make any sense to me though that Paul Heyman would induct Goldberg into the Hall of Fame. So they have 2 years of history with each. I mean, I guess they're doing it because of Goldberg went against Lesnar 3 times in his WWE career. That's probably why they're doing it. Good job, Isaac. The Iron Sheik. Great job. Here's the next one. We got a bunch of them for you today. Real quick before I ask this question, the end of the show is going to be very, very fun. So in honor of March Madness, unfortunately, my boys, the Duke Blue Devils, big Duke fan, they lost to Kansas by 4 points. It was such an amazing game. They lost in overtime. Grayson Allen could have hit that last second shot. It bounced out. I wish he would have driven down and tried to go for a layup and drew the foul. That would have been, the ideal. But it didn't happen, and they ended up losing. So, but at the same time, I'm not going to be bitter about it. I'm still going to do some March Madness stuff. So I got a list of 16 wrestlers. This is going to be really fun. I've got a list of 16 wrestlers, and you all, the live audience, is going to pick who. So we're going to do it bracket style. You're going to pick who do you think is the better shoot fighter between the two, and we're going to eliminate people one by one. So the live audience is going to pick who is the best shoot fighter between the two. We're going in tournament style, and the winner will be the fans' choice of the best shoot fighter. So that's very creative March Madness style for every week this week. So it'll be quite fun. All right, here's the next one. Let's see this. We got a bunch of comments here. Goldberg didn't really make any friends too recently, so it does kind of make sense. That is a good point. We'll talk about him and Chael Sonnen beef. Real quick, him and Chael Sonnen has had some beef on Twitter. There was a interview from a few years ago, 2015. Chael Sonnen was interviewing Vince Russo. Russo said that Goldberg was the most difficult person that he worked with during his time in WCW. He thought he believed his own hype. So that was his thing. And then, Chael Sonnen put some ad-libs in there as well, saying that he didn't get it. And then he used a MMA reference saying that Jake Shields, he was a middleweight. He's a middleweight. Jake Shields, he dwarfed over him. He put his arm around him. He shook him. It made Shields look a lot smaller because Goldberg is a giant. So he believed that ran him out of the MMA world as far as just announcing is concerned. So fan brought that back up. And so there was some exchange between Sonnen and Goldberg. Goldberg called Sonnen a punk. And so there was a bunch of debate on who would win between a shoot fight facing Goldberg with Chael Sonnen. So that was a very interesting discussion. So who's the best shoot fighter? We'll see. Let's see. What's your favorite NFL team? The Tennessee Titans. Let's see. Kansas crush Michigan in national championship. If it does come to those two, you know what? I am born, raised, and currently live in Ohio, born and bred, and so I'm definitely not rooting for Michigan. That's for sure. I am rooting for Loyola Chicago. So I want just a Loyola Chicago. They have not made the Final Four in 55 years. So 1963 was the last time they made the Final Four. So 55 years. So yeah, got a comment saying it really didn't make sense to me why Kane came back and confronted Cena just to lose. I feel like Kane should have won last night. Just Kane's placement was just odd. I mean, it was just a really, really odd placement. So very, very, very odd. Here's the next question. This is fun. Name the participants of the Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania 16 and the McMahon at each corner. The McMahon at each corner. Let's see. So Kansas. Let's see. No. Loyola Chicago. Loyola won. Someone's saying Loyola's already eliminated. No, it's not true. As far as I know, because I saw the Duke. Yeah. No. They play Michigan. They're not eliminated. The Final Four is Loyola, Michigan, Kansas, and Villanova. So Loyola plays Michigan on Saturday. Kansas plays Villanova on Saturday as well. So yeah, Loyola's still in there. I mean, that's what I thought. All right, so yeah, that's who I'm voting for. Do you think the reason why WWE ain't putting Dean Malenko in the Hall of Fame is because they don't want him bringing up Benoit? Interesting question. Very interesting question. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's the reason why. Because Kurt Angle can bring up Benoit. I mean, they had some fantastic matches. And he was in Hall of Fame. So, I mean, of course, Dean Malenko's an agent right now, so WWE can clearly say, hey, don't mention Benoit in this Hall of Fame speech. So they could do that. I do think Malenko should be in the Hall of Fame. It still boggles my mind that he won I think it was the 1995 PWI Wrestler of the Year. I think it was. Evan, what was that? Was that the 95 PWI Wrestler of the Year that Dean Malenko won? I think. Yeah. The top 500 wrestlers of 1995. I think it was Dean Malenko. Let me check. Let me make sure of that. But I think 1995 went to Dean Malenko. I was like, what in the world? That did not make sense whatsoever to me. Dean, out of anybody and everybody, 95 must have been a tough year for Dean Malenko. Okay, so Diesel was 95. So it must have been 96 then. Let's see. Okay, Shawn Michaels is 96. Okay, so it must have been 97. Let me check and see. 97 was, Dean Malenko, ladies and gentlemen. Dean Malenko, 1997 PWI top. He was the best wrestler in the world in 1997. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Two Shawn Michaels makes sense. Three Sting, he's the GOAT. Four Bret Hart, cool. Five is Sabu.
Yeah.
Six is Hogan. Seven is Vader. Eight is Savage. Nine is Hall. 10 is Masawa.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me Sabu had a higher ranking than Vader, Hogan, Savage, and Masawa?
Right. Right. Yeah. The rhyme and or reason for Dean Malenko to be the best. I mean, let me say this. Let me clarify. Dean Malenko is a fantastic wrestler and he should be in the Hall of Fame. I'll say that. But I have not met him, but I've heard some things. Yeah, I've heard some things. Yeah, I have. Yeah. Yes, I have heard. Yeah. So he's a great wrestler. Should be in the Hall of Fame. But 97 was here's the crazy thing about this. Real quick, got some really good questions that I'll answer here in a bit. Still question on deck. Trivia question. Name the participants of the Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania 16 and the McMahon at each corner. So a two-part question. So 97 was in the heat of the NWO angle. It was in the heat. I mean, 96, Bash of the Beast 96. No one will ever forget that pay-per-view. One of the most memorable pay-per-views of all time. July 1996. Everybody can recall where they were. So in the midst of all of that, in the midst of NWO, whose side is he on? He's the third man, Bobby Heenan tipping the hat and all of that. Sting was supposed to be the third guy, but Hogan agreed and da-da-da-da-da. The backstage thing behind it. Hogan started off with calling the New World Organization and all of the paper and the cups and the drinks and all that being thrown in the ring. And you guys can stick it. All of that. 1996 going into 1997. Hogan, Nash, Hall, Sting, all of those names who were so pivotal in the Monday Night Wars. None of them were better than Dean Malenko, ladies and gentlemen. None of them. But man, and Dean Malenko at that time was feuding with like Jericho and Cyclope and Juventud. Just Super Callow. Yeah, wow. Yeah, El Dandy. It just Silver King. And just I mean, that just doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all to me. Right, Liz Mark Jr. He was a great cruiserweight. The U.S. Championship run. What year was he U.S. champ? I hope that they didn't put him in because he won the U.S. title. I'm trying to figure out what. Let me find out what year he won the U.S. Championship. They better not put him in because he won the U.S. Championship. That's for sure. He won. Super crazy. That's right. Super crazy, Granny. So was it 90? Let's see. U.S. champ. So he joined the Horsemen. So 96. Okay, so he pinned Guerrero to win the U.S. Championship in 97. Retained it by defeating Jeff Jarrett at Slamboree. But lost it as 97 Nitro. So he won the title in 97. So yeah, for some reason they thought that was good enough to to do it. Won the Cruiserweight Championships. Yeah, it was, he definitely wasn't the best wrestler in 1997. Yeah, good job. Good job, Tina. Great job, actually. The Rock had Vince, Triple H had Stephanie, Big Show had Shane, and Mick Foley had Linda. Then they come to WWE riding lawnmowers, right? Right. What was their name? The Mexicools. That was their name, Mexicools. The Mexicools. They're was it was it them that had that song you don't want to get on my bad side? Yeah, I think it was them. I think it was them, actually. Talk about their Latino, yeah. Raw's War, good years, yeah, definitely an awe moment. Someone saying that it was a minor dental operation that Charlotte had. So that's there you go. Someone is saying you're correct. I was thinking of the wrong game. The Loyola Chicago is still alive. Yes, they are. Austin asks, do you think CM Punk will ever come back to WWE? Never say never. Yeah, why not? I mean, it really depends on Punk. I mean, Punk doesn't want to come back. I think if he shows interest, I'm sure that WWE would show interest as well. But Punk is quite adamant of saying, I don't want to come back. So they can't put everyone in all at once, give him time. I'm sure he'll get in. And hey, Dean Malenko was awesome. Don't be hating. Like I said, I mean, I'm not hating on Dean Malenko as an awesome competitor, but the top 500 wrestler of the year, absolutely not. Do you think Triple H will pick Jeff Jarrett to be part of his creative team? That's a good question. I could see that. I could see Jeff Jarrett being part of NXT creative because Jeremy Borash is. Jeremy Borash is working with Triple H. So yeah, I can definitely see that. Why not? Makes sense to me. Roberto saying, I hope. Yeah, absolutely. That would be absolutely terrible. I hope to see Undertaker on Raw next week. I'm sure we'll get that. Next question. Who lost the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania 17? Who lost the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania 17? All right, so there's some speculation that new general managers can be on the horizon. Okay, so let me answer this question. Do you think Ambrose should get in the Universal picture when he returns? No, I don't think so. Ambrose, although he's popular from Smarky fans, yes, Austin, good job. Ivory is the correct answer. Ivory lost it to China. Yeah, I mean, Ambrose is a good mid-carder. I mean, he's a solid mid-carder. I mean, it's tough to say that, for people who like Ambrose, but I don't I don't see Ambrose as a main event person. I think it was boring when he had the WWE Championship. You know, AJ Styles is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world and has been for quite some time, for a number of years. But he made an angle with AJ Styles boring. And if you make an angle with AJ Styles boring, yikes, that's saying quite a bit. So real quick, there's some speculation, and just take this as speculation as of now, that there's some general managers, new general managers with the superstar shakeup, and Daniel Bryan kind of hinting at it this week as far as not wanting to be a GM anymore. There might be some new general managers after at the superstar shakeup right after Mania. So what are your thoughts? Just we're getting some comments now as far as who should be the general managers for Raw and SmackDown if that occurs, if they do that. Evan, what are your thoughts? So who do you think should be the GM for Raw, and who would be your GM for SmackDown? Before you say that, someone is saying, I'd love to see Hogan replace Daniel Bryan. Crying is what the person said, but I'll say Bryan. Daniel Bryan is general manager for SmackDown Live. Someone said, I heard Hulk Hogan. What are your thoughts, Evan? Who should be, if it's just, I mean, they may still do Angle on Raw. I don't see Angle, definitely don't see Angle in a full-time or semi-full-time wrestling capacity. But if it's Daniel Bryan, if he does go and does more of a wrestler role, who do you think should be in this role? But there's talks of general managers being replaced. So who do you think should be? I mean, since they're doing that. Oh, there was, but I don't want to see that. No thanks. I don't want to see Sting every week. That'll break the that'll break the mysteriousness. Oh, come on, man. You're saying Sting, you're saying anonymous GM, you're saying anarchy. Oh, man.
I guess you can keep Angle. I mean, who you really going to use? Foley. And the problem with Raw is every time there's an authority figure, Stephanie comes in and bullies them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
SmackDown. Hey, you know what? SmackDown made the Raw GM Michael Hayes. No different.
Michael P.S. Hayes, ladies and gentlemen.
Michael P.S. Hayes. That would be hilarious.
That would be funny. Oh, no thanks. Funny story. Funny story about P.S. Hayes. I saw him on a plane coming to Orlando last year for Mania. And, he was just, cooling and chilling. I acknowledged him. He acknowledged me. He wasn't like standoffish or anything. So, he's fine by me. Jamie's saying if Brock goes to UFC, I'd love to see Heyman. I can definitely see Heyman as GM. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hulk Hogan is GM for Raw, Stone Cold GM for SmackDown. Right. I don't want to see Hogan every week either. Yeah, I agree. Doc Hendrick is what. Doc, ladies and gentlemen, the new SmackDown Live general manager, Doc Hendrick. Yeah, man, bring Pat Gill back. Absolutely. Oh. Right. Our boy Sean Mooney, have him be GM. Why not? Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I'm looking on the Eric Bischoff. Yeah, I can see that. I can see him come back though. For some reason, I asked Bischoff. I have him on my show. I've had him on my show, and I've communicated with him a bunch of times. I wanted him to be NXT general manager. I like Regal as general manager NXT. I like it. I like it a lot. He's not there every week, and he comes at the real good times. But for some reason, I like Bischoff as NXT general manager. Who you got?
I got one for you. Booker T is Raw general manager.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, you know it. He was SmackDown general manager. So it could work. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? If you make him King Booker, have Booker T come out as King Booker.
No, that would. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have King because that was a really good gimmick. But if you know what I mean, like if for someone to be Raw or SmackDown general manager, you can't have like a really strong gimmick. You know what I mean? Like if he just comes back as Booker T, he'd be all good because after every single really good match, he'll say, "That's right." He'll say, "I do it for you." He'll say it every week. He'll be like, "You know what, sucker? You come down to this ring right now, and you apologize to me, your general manager, for being so disrespectful for me last week. You need to do it. Do it now. I do it for you." And everybody who watches the Pancakes and Powerslams show will go bananas. You'll have a bunch of signs that says, "I do it for you." Yeah, it's so funny. That's starting a trend. It's funny. I got a tweet last week. I love it. "I do it for you." It's starting to trend. It's starting to grow legs on from the Pancakes and Powerslams show, ladies and gentlemen. I got a tweet last week that a fan of the show, he said, "I do it for you." He said, do it now. I do it for you." On one of Booker T's live Facebook videos. And Booker T pinned it. He pinned it on his live Facebook video. Yes. Oh, man. It was amazing that he did it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Pancakes and Powerslam show is growing legs to Booker T saying, "Do it. Do it now." That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Jerry Lawler. Okay, Jerry Lawler for GM. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Hornswoggle. No, I'm good with that. Yeah, I'll totally be fine with Armando Alejandro Estrada. Someone is saying Triple H's GM and Roman could be the next Austin versus McMahon. Yeah. That makes sense though. That makes sense. I mean, if Triple H was GM and we'll see another Austin McMahon. The only thing with that is that I mean they kind of doing it with Brock, but
it's time for something new. How many times we didn't see Vince or Stephanie or Shane?
Somebody new.
Or Triple H.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
1997.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
If you throw them in every now and then, Triple H and Stephanie, they're actual corporate with Vince. They can make cameos. They can make DLC appearances. But we do not need to see them every single week.
Yeah.
We all to the fan that said that. Did you love seeing them every week when it was the Authority?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Got a question here. Speaking of questions, go ahead. Yeah, I agree with you. Who retained the European Championship at WrestleMania 18? Who retained the European Championship at WrestleMania 18, ladies and gentlemen? So yeah, great conversation about who the I got a friend of mine actually said Jeff Jarrett for GM. I'd be fine with that. Yeah. How?
You know what? I got plans for the past.
Who you got?
Lee Russell? Yeah, Lance Russell? Or
Lance Russell passed away last year. I think he did.
oh, he did?
Yeah, I think he passed.
I apologize. I had no idea.
Yeah, I think he passed away.
The brand passed away.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Lance Russell. Continental. That's right. Memphis Wrestling, brother. Memphis Wrestling all the way.
Let's go back to the old days when wrestling had credits. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
You like old enough to remember when you had the VHS, the video, well, these come video cassettes. So the pay-per-views and actually had credits at the end.
Funny story. At the end of WCW, they would do the credits and they would say Virgil Runnels, who was really Dusty Rhodes. Yeah. Lance Russell died October 3rd, 2017. So just a few months back. It's about 6 months ago. Yeah. 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 Oh, we got a good one here in Evansville. I loved when Lance Russell would plug the local shows. I loved it.
From Texas, WCCW. They used to do the commentating too.
Lee Marshall?
Used to do no, the other guy.
Oh, Lee Marshall was AWA. Scotty Flamingo did commentary and no. Okay, wait. So I'm thinking GWF Scotty Flamingo. I had him on my show, Mark Lawrence, right?
Mark Lawrence,
yeah. I loved that theme song, and I was a big fan of Mark Lawrence. I don't remember when I had Mark Lawrence on my show, but check it out for people who just go to iTunes, subscribe, and listen to Mark Lawrence on the Pancakes and Powerslams show. It was a really good, really good interview. Brought back some awesome memories of when I used to watch WCCW World Class Championship Wrestling. It was on Mark Lawrence interview. I had him in February of 2016, so 2 years ago. Episode 204 is when I had Mark Lawrence on there. But I used to love when Mark Lawrence would introduce the Fabulous Freebirds. He would because Buddy Roberts at that time was called the Toast of the Coast. He was Big Shot. And Mark Lawrence would say, he was just so monotone, and he would have his little spikes when he go up, like, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Fabulous Freebird member, Toast to the Coast, Buddy Roberts. Just his announcing and introductions were absolutely amazing. Mark Lawrence would be the man. Edge's GM, Norman Smiley, the Big Wiggle, that would be funny. Scott Hudson. Scott Hudson, there you go. It'll be interesting. Keep them coming. Next question. Who retained the European Championship at WrestleMania 18? Who retained the European Championship at WrestleMania 18? All right, let's skim through this. We want to have enough time to go to the flavor of the week to discuss to do this tournament. Bruce Prichard reveals the one moment that the turn the fans against Roman Reigns. He was talking about Daniel Bryan and Royal Rumble and Philly, Pittsburgh, I believe, where it was in 2015 when they had it. And they were just saying, like, and he was saying the fans wanted Roman Reigns, but they wanted to, they kind of put Daniel Bryan in there, and Daniel Bryan, he wasn't expected to be the guy at that time. He could have eventually been the guy, or come back because he won the title at 14, and then he took some time off, and he was not being necessarily the guy. Roman Reigns was huge at that time. People really loved Roman Reigns, and I think Prichard was talking about how they the fact is when what turned the corner was when he won that Royal Rumble, and it wasn't anything of his doing. It's just that's what that's what they wanted to do, and they made him winner, and unfortunately, that's what they did, and it sucks for Roman Reigns because he puts his heart and soul. He's a hard worker, and of course it took him some time. Let me see if I got a direct quote. He says, "What hurt Roman Reigns is that everyone wanted something new. They wanted something different, and the guy everyone wanted was Roman Reigns." He said, "That's because Daniel Bryan was out with an injury, so they gave them Roman Reigns. Everyone was ready for him, and when we get to the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia, set to appoint Roman Reigns." So that was the one in 2015 in Philadelphia. Okay. Set to appoint Roman Reigns, and they bring back Daniel Bryan, and the people wanted him. Prior to Daniel Bryan being a part of all that, they wanted Roman. I mean, that makes sense. And then he suggested, he said, I would have held off on Daniel Bryan and kept Roman Reigns in the right spot, in the right place. Everything would have been completely different. But bringing back Daniel Bryan when they did, it hurt Roman Reigns. So people who remember that want to hate him. It's not Roman's fault. I do think that there's a large segment of the audience, whether they love him or hate him, man, they react to him, and that's a good thing. I mean, you can't dispute that. You can't dispute it. And here's the thing, and I've said this before. And I was going to tweet it, but I think I might even write an article about it. But I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to, because I've written so many Roman Reigns apologist articles. But here I'm going to say this here, though. I think that Roman Reigns is, and I strongly believe this, I believe that Roman Reigns is getting booed because WWE got to him before the fans did. That is my clear as day, very, very stern. I'm not moving away from that belief. I believe, and we saw it when he was a heel, when he was with the Shield, doing the spear, doing the Shield bomb, the triple power bomb. Fans were going bananas. He was the most over person in the Shield, hands down. Hands down, he was. Yeah, absolutely. When he was the 2014 Royal Rumble, when he was just eliminating people back and forth and left and right, and he was way over. People went bananas. The one Batista won. They wanted Reigns to win that Rumble when Batista won. And fans were going nuts. And, I mean, watch those old Shield matches. 2014, 2013, watch those old Shield matches. They would go bananas for Roman Reigns. And I believe that the WWE reached Roman Reigns before the fans did, before the marks did, and that's the reason why he's getting booed. And I stand by that. Stand by that 100%. Thank you, Tina. Yes, Roman is great. Name a bad Roman match. I'll wait. And Jason said, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's just, here's the thing. People said the shove down your throat thing, blah, 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 blah. People didn't say that for Hogan when he main evented multiple Manias, like 7 out of the first 8 Manias. And, they didn't, no complaints. Actually, the first 9 Manias, he main evented 1, 2, 3, Savage in the main evented 4. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So out of the first 9 Manias, he main evented 8 of them, and people don't complain about that. So, yeah, makes no. The fans got to Roman Reigns. I mean, the WWE got to Roman Reigns before the marks did. If it was the other way around, if the marks would have made Roman Reigns their guy, if they would have built Roman Reigns, that would have kept cheering for him, it would be a whole different thing, because he's the fans' pick. He's created by the fans to be, the marks, I should say, not the fans, not the wide variety of them, but he's created by the marks to be the guy. But WWE made him that, and so, well, that's what happens, and it's unfortunate with these with a lot of this crowd nowadays. All right, so the next one, greatest Royal Rumble event not finalized yet. The 50-man Royal Rumble a few weeks after WrestleMania, so that's interesting news. They had a partnership with Saudi Arabia in February last month, and so they're like, hey, we're going to give you this 50-man Battle Royal. 7 championships defended, but not the women's championship, so there's a lot of controversy with that. But, they're teasing that basically it is going to be in the WWE Network, so it will be interesting to see. I'm interested in watching it and see how they're doing it, and the 50 people who are they going to be pulling for the 50 people. That should be very interesting. And Bray Wyatt, he could be on the verge of making WrestleMania history with being the first active superstar ever to defend a world championship and then next year potentially not make the card at all and go to the pre-show. So, there's people who've done that, who's retired or was injured, but not any active wrestler in both years. So it could be quite bad for Bray Wyatt. But that's really that's really his career in a nutshell. That describes it. Next, all right. So so we got DDP for that, retain the European Championship. Next question on deck is, who won the WWE Hardcore Championship at WrestleMania 17? Who won the WWE Hardcore Championship at WrestleMania 17? Real quick, got a question here. Why do you think WWE decided to do dual pay-per-views again? Because they couldn't find enough time to spread out to have exclusive pay-per-views. That's what I believe. All right, real quick, spend the next 90 seconds or so to let us know your Raw and SmackDown review, because we got some tournament shoot fighting, fan picking action to do. So what are your Raw and SmackDown thoughts?
Overall, I thought Raw was just okay. Like I said, I'm kind of old school when it comes to building storyline. Like, for instance, if Braun Strowman, I still feel talking too much. And then you keep having them fight every week, Cesaro and Sheamus, interchangeably. So why is it going to be special to see them actually fight each other at Mania?
Yep.
It's kind of, as a lesson. And like I said, the whole Cena thing is just him sitting up, rolling eyes back of his head. And that's what starts for Kane, because no one's feared Kane since 2003.
Right.
Kane show up just to lose. It's like he's not even a threat anymore. I don't know who's worse. Do you fear Kane any worse, or do you fear Bray Wyatt? I thought
that's a good yeah.
It's okay. SmackDown I did enjoy. SmackDown was good to see Benjamin main event SmackDown with Nakamura. I enjoyed that match. I enjoyed the mind games with Nakamura and AJ. Nakamura has a lot of weird tendencies. I have to follow him and rubbing on AJ's face.
Little face.
Hey, I know your boy, Jinder Mahal.
No.
I did reference you on my show about how you love doing his voice. And then looking forward now for the U.S. title. I'm doing enough for you, Rusev. What's going down? Look, you win a match.
Yeah.
It's like, really, you going to add another fifth person so it'll be a fatal 5-way?
It's a good spot for Rusev, I guess you can say, but
Yeah, Rusev. You let the match be hijacked Rusev Day.
Yeah, exactly, which I don't like.
The Belgian brothers against New Day. That match was decent. It told a good story. You have New Day and Usos kind of have the truce, but they're kind of teaming up in a way that's trying to go against the common enemy. So I enjoyed SmackDown more than Raw again this week.
Yeah, I did too. Raw was a bit of a cluster mess. I just think that there were just a bunch of angles that just still got loose ends to them that should have been tightened up. this week. I mean, you're 2 weeks out. You're less than 2 weeks out before Mania. You've only got a go-home show left. You can't just having these angles extend until the final day. I mean, you know, whatever happened to WrestleMania 17 when you know you're going to have Rock versus Austin, and it made the theme song amazing, like My Way. That was the theme song from WrestleMania 17, because they would always use it in video packages, and they would do the sit down interviews. It was so much passion in that feud. Yes, there was so much passion in that feud that it made it real. It made it convincing. The disbelief was suspended. Hardcore. People were saying Hardcore Holly, and that's not the correct answer, unfortunately. The correct answer is Kane. Kane won the Hardcore Championship at WrestleMania 17. Yeah, so I mean, it was so amazing. It was like, I'm gonna do things my way. It was my way or the highway. It was just so amazing as far as just adding just the song, the video packages. Yes, it did. Face versus face. I mean, that was the only second face versus face match, singles match, other than Hogan and Warrior at 6, and then Michaels and Cena did it again at what was Michaels and Cena, 23? Let's see. It was 23, right? Yes. It was Michaels and Cena. So they did that again. Which was also a very good match. But yeah, I mean, it made sense. It was the video package was so amazing, and yeah, I mean, it made the song stand out. It even made the song stand out. If you go back, if you look at YouTube and look at those sit down interviews and look at the video package of 17, it was so amazing. We already knew what the main event was. They were just on and on and on, just really digging in. You know, the main event, digging in, you know, the fans, making us realize that this is awesome, you know, and I was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Dallas is going to kill me. I live here in Atlanta, and I take his DDP yoga classes on a regular basis. Very interesting. I've had DDP on my show. Go check it out. Raw was a mess, Al says. SmackDown was pretty good. I agree. You see Big Show being tag team partner with Braun for final run for gold. I have thought that. I'm still going by Kurt Hawkins. Why not? But Big Show would make sense as well. Raw didn't make sense. That spot with Rousey and Absolution was pointless. Yeah, I mean, I tweeted this. They better not make that the main event. They better not make the mixed tag team main event. They would riot. It would be an NWO style riot again, and that would not put Rousey over as a babyface. Real quick, 205 Live was amazing. The four-way match at the end of 205 Live was absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, throughout the rest of the 205 Live, fans weren't into it because it's right after SmackDown, so people don't care. Well, actually, it's right after the Mixed Match Challenge, which Bobby Roode and the replacing Becky Lynch won. Charlotte will go back to team with Bobby Roode for the finals. The Mr. Ross thing was awesome. I was actually hoping, I mean, I knew that they were going to ruse them and keep them, you know, together, but I was actually hoping for Dallas, both Dallas to turn, and, you know, people were getting behind them. So, I mean, SmackDown was, you know, yeah. Jamie Frost looked like she could be a wrestler. Actually, from what I heard, that was actually her first time as a wrestler. I think she does a valet. I think she's a valet in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. SmackDown, yeah, I mean, you know, it was solid. It was very solid. Daniel Bryan did say Shane would be back, so he might be actually injured, but they're maybe working into the angle. It could be, but I really want to see that tag match. So Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze didn't make any sense. Nakamura and AJ made sense as far as just the storyline and how they're developing that. So it was pretty cool to see that. All right, real quick. We got to do this real quick. And this is going to be fun, but we're going to have to speed it up as far as time is concerned. So here we go. Flavor of the week.
It is now time for the flavor of the week.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fan interaction, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I'm going to pick. I've got 16 names, picking 2 randomly, and you're going to tell me who is better, who you think is the better shoot fighter. One is going to advance, one is going to be eliminated. All right, first name is Kevin Owens, and he will be facing in a shoot fight. Brock Lesnar. Which one would win? Which one would win? What do you think, Evan?
Brock.
Yeah, I think Brock. Definitely Brock. Yeah. Definitely Brock. Unless somebody say something different in the chat room. Yeah, Brock. Okay, so so Kevin Owens is eliminated from the so Brock Lesnar advances. All right, here's the next 2. First one is Jinder Mahal. And the next name is Titus O'Neil. Who do you think, Evan?
Titus.
I think so, too. I think with the football background, I think he would take Jinder Mahal in a shoot fight. Oh, we got a Jinder. Okay. Let's see if we got any more votes real quick, because right now we both say Titus, but we got the Jinder comment, and if this is based on the chat room, so you better hurry up. I don't know if there's a delay or you typing away, but it's like a going once, going twice. If y'all are gonna do it now. Say your answer. Otherwise, Jinder's going to advance because we gotta speed it up here. All right, we got some Titus. Let's see. All right, so I think we're gonna give that one to Titus for the sake of we got people saying Jinder at the same time. More than one comment saying Jinder Mahal. We got people who really like Jinder Mahal once in the advance. Yeah, no, I think people just like just one person in particular likes Jinder. Al does. So we're gonna give it to Titus based on the universal comments here. All right, so Titus advances. Next we have all right, who would win a shoot fight between Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev? Ooh, very interesting. This is random. I chose 16 names from WWE, but this is very random as far as I'm picking them. I don't know who they're. Who do you think?
Yeah, Rusev will win because his background.
Got a Nakamura. I got split. I got Nakamura and Rusev. Nakamura's got some shoot fighting background too, but Rusev is the popular choice, so we're gonna go Rusev. All right, getting down to nitty gritty. Here's the next 2, real quick. AJ Styles and against Triple H. Oh, nice. AJ Styles versus Triple H. Who will win in a shoot fight? What you got, Evan?
That's gonna be tough. I say AJ.
I agree.
Triple H is bigger.
I agree.
AJ is more agile.
Yep. And people are saying Styles unanimously on the chat, so AJ wins unanimously. All right, next two. Let's see who we got. Randomly picking, we've got Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. Who you got? Really? You got Sheamus over Daniel Bryan? Huh.
Bryan is edgy. I just think Sheamus is too overpowering for Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
I know Daniel can hold his own, but I just think Sheamus' size would be too much.
Okay.
I've seen Jericho put Goldberg down, but I don't want to see
we got a split, but people are saying Sheamus over Daniel Bryan, so Sheamus advances. All right. Next two. Cesaro and Shane McMahon. Who you got, Evan?
Cesaro hands down. I mean, Shane can hold his own, but Cesaro, I think it'll be a long fight.
Man, I've heard Shane's very tough. But I'm getting a bunch of Cesaros over here. So Cesaro, Shane, valiant effort, but you don't advance, unfortunately. All right, next two. Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns. Who you got, Evan? Real quick. Yeah. I'll say Braun. 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 Yeah, I think we got Braun. Yeah, Braun advances. All right, last two. Goldberg. Kurt Angle. Who you got? Angle. Okay. I agree. I got Goldberg as well. From current state. Yep. Yes, but currently I would say Goldberg. Yes, absolutely. So it's split. So the next one I see. All right, Goldberg. That was the next one I see. That broke the split. All right, we only got a few minutes left. Next round. We got. All right, real quick. Braun Strowman, Cesaro. Who you got, Evan? Braun. Yeah, Braun as well. All right, so Cesaro, great job advancing, but you're not getting past Braun, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here's the next one. Titus O'Neil, Brock Lesnar. What you got? Someone says see these hands. Brock Lesnar, great effort, Titus. You advanced one round. That's saying a lot. Next one, Sheamus, AJ Styles. Who you got? AJ? Okay. Let's see. Next, all right, we got AJ. Okay, we got AJ. All right, last one. Goldberg, Rusev. Who you got? Rusev. I got Goldberg. Let's see what the chat says. Real quick, who's going to break the tie? Who's going to break the tie? We got Rusev. People think Rusev could take Goldberg. Oh, we got a Goldberg. We got someone coming in and saying Goldberg. Rusev. All right. Rusev is a bit of a split, but Rusev takes Goldberg. All right. Final four, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick. Here we go. AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar. Who you got? Yeah, I got Brock Lesnar too. Yes, people agree. Brock Lesnar makes it to the finals. Here we go. Braun Strowman, Rusev. Who you got? All right. I see Rusev. I got Braun. I got Braun as well. I think it's pretty evident that it's Braun Strowman, but yeah. All right, I see Braun. All right. So the finals goes to the finals of the Pancakes and Powerslams WWE Shoot Fight March Madness Tournament Fan Pick'em is Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. There you got, Evan. All right, I'm seeing Braun. I'm seeing get these hands. I'm seeing Braun get these hands. I'm seeing see these hands. Oh, I'd pick Braun. It looks like, ladies and gentlemen, based on the majority decision, the winner of the Pancakes and Powerslams March Madness WWE shoot fighting contest is Braun Strowman. Great job. Thanks for all the interaction, ladies and gentlemen. Great job. Lots of fun. That was actually went very well. I wasn't planning on doing that. I planned on doing it, and then I didn't know how it would go, but went very well. So thank you so much for all the wonderful interaction of all your thoughts on that tournament. It was a really cool tournament. 16 wrestlers who I've heard or seem like they would be good in shoot fighting. And there were some people who advanced, but at the end of the day, the fans have spoken, and they believe that Braun Strowman is the toughest person backstage in the WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, 313 episodes in the books. Once again, thank you so much for continuing to support the Pancakes and Powerslams. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, the 6-year anniversary show is next week. Oh my goodness, it's going to be amazing. I got a special guest for you for the 6-year anniversary. We got a weekly wrestling guest as always, and there's going to be a special guest for the 6-year anniversary. You're going to have to tune in and see who it's going to be. Thank you so much for supporting the show as always, and thank you for just your wonderful support. We'll be at WrestleMania. Follow Crave Wrestling. Follow Chris Prolific. Follow tech_UTMR for details of where we'll be that weekend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 313 episodes in the book. Thank you so much for continuing to support the show, and follow some Crave Wrestling as well on Facebook. Follow the Facebook fan page, of course, Wrestling Inc. Facebook, Wrestling Inc. YouTube. Continue to support the Pancakes and Powerslams show for 313 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you all. Enjoy a week of wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. Bye-bye.